Right here would have been a perfect 3 trades. Bump, 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 3 trades, you're done for the day. I mean, you can put a limit if you would want. Usually 2 to 3 trades a day is pretty good, and I'll call it there. But to each their own. Hi everyone, welcome back to Code for Traders. My name is William Sanchez, and this is a new week of a new strategy we are testing. Hopefully you guys saw the last 2 weeks of strategies. One was the MACD and the 200 EMA, and the other one was a VWAP and 50 moving average. They were both very good performing base. One was better than the other manually, not as good with the actual trading codes. But overall, they were both good. I will link them. This strategy is pretty good, and I do like using it as well. But it is not, I don't use it anymore, but it is one I used to use. The strategy itself is Ichimoku Cloud. So let's put that on first. Ichimoku Cloud. The actual indicator itself. It does look a lot of very hectic. I personally do not like to use the lagging span, but I do use all the other ones. The other ones are good. You can change the colors of it if you want, so it can be clearer for you. But I will leave it like this for now. Yeah, I'll leave it like this for now. So the strategy is pretty simple, and it does help because the strategy or the indicator itself is very involved. There's a lot going on, but the strategy itself is pretty simple. This is a long entry for you. The price needs to be above the cloud itself. For example, this right here is above the cloud. But then you also need the conversion line. As you can see, the conversion line is the blue one. And then the red one is the baseline. You need the conversion line to be above the baseline. The second that becomes true, you can take the entry. But the other caveat, if you're going to take the entry, the candle needs to be in the direction you want. So in this scenario, this green candle. So this candle here meets all the criteria. Then I would enter a long right there. Let me put the magnet. You need to enter a long right there. The stop loss actually needs to be at the baseline. So here's the baseline itself, which is the red line, wherever the baseline is located on the actual signal candle. Then I like to do the normal for every strategy at the moment, 1.5. So this is the strategy itself. Once this strategy is hit, the second this becomes true again, you can enter again. So you can enter this long here as well. This will be another long. Stop loss right at the baseline. And then you do again 1.5. These are two simple strategies, or two simple entries, I should say. Easy wins. So we can kind of do it again. Take profit clean here. Oh, here you can take another entry, another long entry. Same logic, right on the baseline, 1.5. Right here would have been a perfect 3 trades. Bump, 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 3 trades, you're done for the day. I mean, you can put a limit if you would want. Usually 2 to 3 trades a day is pretty good, and I'll call it there. But to each their own. So let's find a few short examples. So right here is actually a trade. So the Ichimoku Cloud is kind of hard to see it here, but the price is below it. And you can also see the baseline is really hard to see it here, but the baseline is right there. And it is below the actual, and the conversion line is below the baseline. So it does happen all right here. Here it becomes true. You move your take profit, not your take profit, your stop loss right at the baseline. And you come down 1.5. There you go. And that is one trade. Let's see. Once it's closed, you get that same rule right here. Same idea right there. But I think this one's a losing. Yeah, this one's a losing trade. This one is a losing trade, unfortunately. But out of 5 trades, 1 losing trade, that is amazing. There you go. So that is how you do long and shorts with the strategy. Here you go. For 5 trades, there was 1 losing trade. So The way this channel works, I did create this on the side, like I'll explain every Monday. This is my back tester. Here, every time I take a trade, you'll see the trade being entered and it'll show it here on the chart. Also, here's the account size that I'm testing. You can change this account size to whatever you would want. Right now I have it at 100, but you can change to whatever you want. You'll see the amount of trades you take, your P&L, and your win rate. Also, in the actual execution terminal, I have it where you can take, I'm gonna do it for every 1,000 I am risking, I'll be making 1,500. So whenever I click a win, the price goes up, or the account goes up by 15. If I lose, it goes down by 1,000. So let's do this like this. And here's just the manual entries if you actually want to see what was taken. In today's actual backtesting, I'll be using micro gold and futures. And the best time frame to use this on is the 1 hour. So now I will be doing my 100 trades. Let's do how we always start it, which is we make this small so we can't see. And we go as far back as it can let us go. Okay, so it lets us go this far back. Just start a new one. And then double click. So I will start from here. So I will come back after I do the 100 trades so we can both see the results. Give you some tips if needed to improve it more. And we'll see if it's worth using. Or see you all shortly. That was the last trade. That 2023 market was rough. There was a lot of whiplashes where we almost had take profit multiple times and it was just like spiked the other way. Gold during 2023 was rough. It was rough and a lot of consolidation, a lot of whiplashes. If you were a breakout trader during that time, it would have been perfect. But this strategy did struggle a little bit with the 45% win rate. As you can see with the actual results, we started off really strong and then it was just slowly trickling down until the very end. We started building momentum up again. But regardless, this you would still be up $12,000 even with a bad market like it did here. If you would have had an actual better market, because it hit about 12,000, close to 15,000 really early on. So just bad market here. So it's unfortunate for the last 100 trades, but it did perform very well. So one of the key points that I learned, you can see it did have a lot of, like I said, this was a good trend. So there was a good amount of winners here, but there was a lot of whiplashes. Like these were good. Like if you can see, like this was an unfortunate loss, right? It just spiked up and just consolidated and just like took us out and then went right back up. There was a lot of those kind of moves, unfortunately. There was a lot of clean ones like this. But as you can see, you can take quite a bit of trades in a short time frame. As you can see, these were the last few trades, very good trades. So let me repeat it again, the strategy itself. This is the Ichimoku Cloud. There's a lot of things with this indicator itself. This cloud here kind of shows you the current trend going on. These two moving averages together kind of give you an image of the actual price. This is kind of like a cloud version of the price. And the conversion line and the baseline are both different kind of moving averages. The baseline is like a Kijin. If you guys are familiar with the original Ichimoku Cloud stuff, this is a Kijin. This is very great for the baseline, specifically the name of it. This is good to like filter things out. And then the conversion line is similar to a 9 EMA, but it's a little bit more volume dependent. That's why it kind of like spikes like this. Before I even get into it, if you were to just use the cloud itself, it is a very good trend indicator. So you can combine it with other strategies. It doesn't have to be with these lines specifically. I have a few strategies in mind that I will want to test and put into videos, but this will be the basis of a few of them because it is very good for the trend specifically. So let's get back to the actual entry list. So let's say it again. The price needs to be under the cloud itself for a short. The conversion line needs to be under the baseline, which is the red one, right? The blue needs to be under the red. The price needs to, or the candle needs to have fully closed under both of them. You can kind of use the wick a little bit, but I like where the body, if like 80-90% of the body is on the opposite side, like this one, you can potentially say, oh, it's a good entry. But the other thing is this candle, its entire body went through the baseline. I don't like when it goes through the baseline. It needs to be like, see, like this one's another good example. It's completely on the other side and it's far from here. You may find some examples, like say this one, oh, not that one, like this one could have potentially been an entry too. But the other part that I would want is it needs to close almost fully below. I don't like it too much because it is touching it, but I prefer like the entire body to be on the other side, and including the wicks. But it can be to your discretion ultimately. So once this candle closes, take the entry, stop loss on the baseline, 1.5 from there. This is a little higher, but you can do 1.5. The way you take a second entry, this was the entry here, came down, did take profit. So then we have one green candle between these two trades. Once I see this, for me, it's a good pullback. But yes, you would prefer to pull back even more. This is if you want to have even a higher win rate potentially. Pull back even more, very similar to VWAP and the EMA strategy I did last week. Ideally, you would want to pull in and then kind of maybe give you an engulfing or something from here. But for this specific strategy, all I need is the opposite candle. And then if the following candle is the direction candle I want, I'll take the entry. So here we'll take it. Luckily, this one was a winning trade. But that is pretty much the simplicity of this strategy. You see a lot of whiplashes like this. The strategy is very simple. It works very well. It actually performed very well in a very bad whiplash kind of market on gold. And I did this on the 1 hour. You go lower time frames for these kind of trending strategies, you can get a lot more whiplashes. The higher the time frame, usually the better the win rate. So I would play around with that more. If you guys are interested in the actual code version that I created, the code version performs very well and it does a lot more than 100 trades. That will be on Wednesday's video. If you're interested even further to automate it, on Friday I do the Ninja Trader version of this where it's fully automated and it does perform very well. So with that said, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you did. I will see you on Wednesday's video. Thank you for joining.